Millicent Ndoro of Kenya has drawn lane 8. She's a national record holder, 22.91, set that this year. She made the semi-final twice at the Commonwealth Games before. Tori Lewis on a Commonwealth Games debut broke her national record twice in the 100 metres and ended up with bronze in 10.99. Let's see what form she brings here over 200. Edouin of England is this year's British champion. She's also European under-23 champion last year in this 200-metre event. Ilana Reid of Jamaica goes in 5. She helped the Jamaican team to a final position of 5th in the 4x100 at the Olympics and then went on to win the World Junior title. Frédérique Chasson of Canada goes in 4. She was very close to her season's best of 23.14 in the heat. Beyoncé de Freitas of the British Virgin Islands goes in 3. She only missed out on the 100-metre final by a couple of positions. She won her heat, bounced back well from that disappointment yesterday. Asimene Simwaka of Malawi will go in lane 2. She was 4th in Birmingham over 400 metres and she holds a national record for Malawi, 22.91. Obi Jennifer Chukwuka of Nigeria. She won her heat in a PB of 23.26 yesterday, but a tough lane draw for the 21-year-old. Deep breath from Success Edouin. Having a good season, the English woman progressing, improving, and this is the next test in her career. First of 3 semi-finals.
Greetings track lovers and welcome back. I hope you are all doing well today. Let me ask you something. How often do we think we have seen it all on the track only for one race to leave us completely speechless? Think about it for a moment. Every championship promises excitement, but only a few races become the ones people talk about for years. So, what really happened in the women's 200-meter semi-finals? Was it their record-breaking performance? Was it Jamaica's impressive showing? Or was it the arrival of a new generation ready to challenge the very best? Let's get into today's story and find out together. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please remember to subscribe, like, and also comment.
Women's 200 metres. Bronze medalist from the 100 metres, Tori Lewis of Australia, goes in lane 7. Good start from Tori Lewis. You'd expect that with a 100-metre form and the fresh legs, the day off yesterday. Tori Lewis already made up ground on Ndoro. Jamaican going well, Ilana Reid as well, and Success Edouin has come off the bend brilliant here. The English woman high-stepping into the last 50 metres. These 3 so closely matched. Jamaica, England, Australia going for 2 spots. 3 athletes, one's going to miss out there. I think it could be Success Edouin in the middle. The English woman just tied up slightly in the last 10 metres. She was coming under such pressure from Reid, the World Junior champion, on her inside, and Tori Lewis, the bronze medalist from the 100 metres here on the outside. Should let the officials absolutely figure out that photo finish. But a great run from all of those athletes. I was particularly impressed there by Success Edouin's transition off the bend. It was a good bend, but it was transferring that to the straight is part of the skill. I think Edouin did that the best and perhaps even surprised herself by being in the lead coming into the home straight.
Yeah, Success Edouin ran a fantastic bend, as you said, Hannah. And then as she hit that home straight, it had a commanding lead. You expected Tori Lewis to get that fast start. She's a 100-metre specialist, and she's going to get away from the blocks very, very quickly with that 3rd place just a couple of days ago. But what I was more impressed with was how Tori Lewis managed to come back in the closing stages of the 200 metres. She sort of managed to claw Edouin back in again. But that was a very, very close race. Lewis gets a fantastic start. She's up on the athlete in lane 8 straight away. And it's just coming out of the bend now that Edwin starts to sort of get a grip of the race. It's this transition from the bend into the straight that not all athletes manage to execute. Really, they were brilliant bend runners or great straight runners, but to do both. But then I think Edwin just starts to tie up a little bit. She's got Reed on her inside, Lewis on her outside, and just that pressure from both sides.
You can see Edwin is describing it so well, Danny. It's just the knee lift's gone as well, hasn't it? And this is the biggest stage she's competed on, and you can see Lewis and Reed have been credited with the first two spots, 22.64 for the pair of them. That's automatic qualification through to the final, and Success Adawan on 22.65 is going to go take a seat, a hot seat. And, nice celebration from Tori Lewis. Job done. And a really strong following wind here in Glasgow. I would have expected a tiny bit faster, but here we are, Edouin and Chesson will watch the next two semi-finals and hope that their times stand the test. Lewis and Reed, first and second, both credited with 22.64, Edouin 22.65 and Chesson 22.98.
In the lead, it's every one of those four valid marks would have been good enough for gold, or is good enough for first place at the moment.
Second of three semi-finals coming up. So competitive, so closely matched in that first one. Have a look how this second unfolds. Remember, first two across the line, automatically into tomorrow's final.
Well, let's take a look as this shot takes us round the bend. Drone shot to the 8 athletes lined up there for this second of three semi-finals, the women's 200 metres. There's Ashanti Veronica Pereira of Singapore. 29-year-old's best is 23 seconds exactly this year. Semi-finalist in the 100 a couple of days ago. 22.57, her lifetime best. Ashanti Moore goes in lane 7 for Jamaica. Her personal best set in Budapest last year. Semi-finalist at the World Championships last year too. Adeja Hodge, well, she starts as favourite here. Great lane draw too for the British Virgin Islands athlete. She's world number 2 this year. Won the NCAA title. Her coach Gerald Furry was a world-class sprinter for Zambia. He's their record holder. Monique Hanlon goes in 5 for Australia, 3rd in the Australian Championships. Marie-Eloise Leclerc goes in 4th, Canada. Many relay spots for her over the years. 2nd in the Canadian 200 and her personal best. There's Olayinka Olajide of Nigeria. She goes in 3, the 21-year-old. 23.62 in her heat. There's Scotland's Alison Bell. She goes in lane 2. 23.38 in her heat, and that's a season's best for her. She has run 23.01, and Winfrida Mackenzie of Tanzania goes in lane 1. Best of 23.88 this year, and that is her lifetime best. Indeed, it was in her heat here, a national record for Mackenzie, but she's still in that inside lane. So Hanlon of Australia in 5. 22.60 this season is her lifetime best. She's only 22. The second heat of the women's, second semi, I should say, of the women's 200 metres. The first 2 go through by right. Away they go there. I thought they might be recalled with that ripple of applause going around the stadium. Really good running from a Hodge there in lane 6 in the blue of the British Virgin Islands. As you'd expect, she leads by quite a margin, 2 or 3 metres coming into the straight now, and she's storming away with this one. Good running from the Jamaican Ashanti Moore there in 7, left a picture. She's working hard, but look at Adeja Hodge easing back on the throttle, 30 metres out, 22.01, and it's legal, plus 1.7. What could she have done if she had run hard to the line? She'd have gone a long way under 22 seconds. Her season's best, her lifetime best, 21.68. It tops the world rankings, or it puts her second in the world rankings, excuse me, behind Julian Alfred. I think she could probably have threatened her lifetime best if she'd run hard there through the last 50 or so. Well, a games record there for Adeja Hodge with a legal win that was very, very helpful. Plus 1.7, just legal, Danny, but she blew them away over the first 50.
She did. She blew them away from the second she left the blocks. That she ran a really, really strong bend, and then into the home straight, that transition. Very, very powerful. And as you said, she's cruising across the line. That is a marker to put down for the rest of the athletes. But for me, Ashanti Moore as well, bringing in for the silver medal position out in lane 7, because she was under pressure from Adeja Hodge within the first 20 metres of the race. So she did really, really well not to let that affect her performance.
Yes, absolutely right. Hodge and Moore 1 and 2 there. Hodge winning it by more or less a second and a half, and that game's record, a clear indication of how historically significant that run is from Adeja Hodge, the sort of form she's in. She's only 22, she's a youngster, born in Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. Her best times, her best years ahead of her. And Pereira and Hanlon in second and third, and Pereira does get a hot seat spot, so I think the third placer in that.
We're just going to combine the results. We'll probably wait for the conclusion of this women's 200 metres before we catch up totally with what that means with the decathlon. This is the third semi-final. What about Adeja Hodge breaking the games record there in that previous semi-final? Mia Gross goes in lane 8 for Australia. She was second at the Oceania Championships over 400 and then won gold in the 200. Audrey Leduc goes in lane 7 for Canada. She's a national record holder and she was really close to it when she won the national championships this year. She was 6th in the 100 a couple of days ago. Lavanya Williams of Jamaica goes in 6th. She was the fastest in round 1 with 22.91. Shaniqua Bascom of Trinidad and Tobago goes in 5. She had a bye through to this round thanks to 22.68 clocking this season. Olivia Fotopoulou of Cyprus goes in 4. 22.65 a couple of years ago. She's been close to that this season. Eliza Smith of Guyana will go in 3. She had a bye as well thanks to a 22.78 ran in May. Jorne Nyamsata of the Gambia goes in 2. She ran 23.74 to qualify for this semi-final, and Antonique Strawn, a lifetime best of 22.15 from 2023. She's a double world junior champion a few years ago, Strawn. 23.52, the best so far for her this season. There are the 2 hot seat athletes. Success Edouin of England, 22.65. And Veronica Shanti Pereira of Singapore, 22.81. That's the target if you're outside the top 2 here in this third semi-final. Athlete's just been asked to stand up. There's a bit of crowd noise going on. It's mainly involved in the decathlon high jump. We've got athletes going for third and final attempts at certain heights, asking for support from the crowd. Green card for this semi-final. They'll be invited back into their blocks. Strawn of Bahamas is in 1. Naima Sata of the Gambia in 2. Smith of Guyana in 3. Fotopoulou of Cyprus in 4. Bascom of Trinidad and Tobago in 5. Williams of Jamaica in 6. Leduc of Canada in 7. And Gross of Australia in lane 8. And they are away this time, despite a bit more crowd noise. This is the final semi-final for the women's 200 metres. Top 2 get a spot in the final. Canada, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago off the crest of the bend, almost together. What a run here from Bascom of Trinidad and Tobago. 50 metres to go. The head is starting to bob for Bascom, but she's going to pull clear of the field. 22.32. That's the second fastest time we've seen here across the semi-finals. Adeja Hodge. Incredible scenes in that second semi-final, breaking the game's record with 22.01. And if that hadn't just happened, this would be really impressive from Shaniqua Bascom. It's a good measured race, and then had something there in the last 50 metres. But Erdogan and Pereira, I think from their body language, they think they've done enough here to make the final. Bascom with 22.31. She was quite a way ahead of everybody else. Feel quite spread out here in this third semi-final.
Shaniqua Bascom, she runs a really, really good bend. She's got Williams and Ledeck on her outside that she can track round the bend. But it's this, once again, it's this transition into the home straight, and she really starts to pull away. She does the damage from like 1 to 150, and then that last 50 metres, she's got that 5 metre lead ahead of Williams just on her outside. A really, really strong performance from Bascom there in lane 5. And he even got the sunglasses on. Doesn't even need the racing shades.
That was really impressive from Bascom, and I think we've seen a good example of that bend to straight conversion here. But semi-final 3 won by Bascom, 22.31. Lavanya Williams coming through for the second place in 22.71. And that means the 2 time qualifiers are Success Adawan and Veronica Shanti Pereira. That's the 8 women that will advance to the final. Adeja Hodge breaking the games record in the semi-final. Surely the favourite for gold.
Well, back to this triple jump now. It's been building nicely for one.
Hello guys, I hope you have just watched that full race. The women's 200 meters semi-final at the 2026 Commonwealth Games gave us everything a sprint fan could ask for. There was a drama, history, fierce competition, and performances that reminded the world why the Caribbean continues to produce some of the finest sprinters on the planet. Every race had its own story, and by the end of the session, fans everywhere were already counting down to what promises to be an unforgettable final. The opening semi-finals immediately showed just how competitive this event would be. Have you ever noticed how a race can be decided by the smallest of margins? One tiny mistake, one slightly shows a slower reaction, or one run at the finish line can make all the difference. Australia's Tori Lewis and Jamaican's Alan Raids crossed the line together in 22.64 seconds, while England's Success Edwin was just 1/100th of a second behind in 22.65. Imagine dedicating years of your life to your sport and seeing qualification decided by such tiny margin. Doesn't that showing just how demanding world-class sprinting really is? Alan Reid once again proved why so many people believed she has a bright future ahead of her. She remained composed throughout the race and finished when it mattered most. Isn't that what great athletes do? They don't panic when the pressure rises. They trusted their preparation. As the saying goes, pressure revealed preparation. Reid looked calm, confident, and ready for the next challenge. Then came the second semi-final, and suddenly the atmosphere inside the stadium changed. Have you ever had that feeling that something unforgettable was about to happen? The crowd certainly did. Adeja Hodge of a British Virgin Island produced the race of her life, storming to victory in an incredible 22.01 seconds. Just like that, the Commonwealth Games record belonged to a new athlete. What made that performance even more remarkable was whose record she broke. The previous mark of 22.03 seconds belonged to Jamaican's legend Elaine Thompson-Herah. Isn't that incredible? Records held by legends are never easy to break. They represent years of excellence and unforgettable performances. Yet, Hodge managed to lower it by 1/100th of a second. It may sound like a tiny difference, but in sprinting, 1/100th of a second can separate history from heartbreak. As the saying goes, records are made to be broken, but legends are never forgotten. Jamaica still had plenty to celebrate. In that same race, Ashanti Mori produced a smart and controlled performance to secure her place in the final. She didn't need to chase the record. Her mission was simple: qualify safely and prepare for the biggest race. Championship athletes understand that sometimes the smartest performance isn't the fastest one, it's the one that gets the job done. The third semi-final continued the excitement. Trinidad and Tobago's Shenikika Bascams delivered an outstanding performance to win in 22.31 seconds, showing she will be a serious medal contender. Jamaica's Lavenia Williams also advanced comfortably, giving Jamaicans three representatives in the final. Isn't that remarkable? Years after year, Jamaica continues producing athletes capable of competing at the highest level. It speaks volumes about the country's sprinting culture and commitment to excellence. Looking across three semifinals, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. Jamaican's strength isn't built around just one athlete. It's built on depth. Alan Reid qualified, Ashanti Mori qualified, Lavenia Williams qualified. Three athletes, three opportunities, and all three delivered. That is the kind of consistency that keeps Jamaicans among the world's sprinting powerhouse. The Caribbean also had plenty to celebrate beyond Jamaica. Adidja Hodge's historic record for the British Virgin Islands and Shenikika Bascam's victory for Trinidad and Tobago showed that the region continued to produce expansional talent. Small Island continues making a massive impact of the global stage. Doesn't that prove that greatness isn't measured by the size of a country, but by the determination of its people? Think about real life for a moment. Whether it's sports, business, school, or your career, every generation faces the challenge of following great names. Some people see that as pressure, while others see it as a motivation. Athletes like Usain Bolt, Shelley Ann Fraser-Pryce, and Elaine Thompson-Herah inspired countless young people to believe they could become champions too. Now we are seeing that inspiration come to life. That is the power of role models. Here is a fun quote to leave you smiling. The finish line may be only 200 meters away, but getting there usually takes a lifetime of hard work. Funny but completely true. Now, the biggest question remains: who will rise when the final begins? Can Adidja Hodge produce another historic performance? Will Jamaican's trio deliver another unforgettable championship? Or will someone else surprise the world? That is exactly why we love athletics. Until the starting gun sounds, anything is possible. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this today's discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to the track lovers. I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay tuned, and I'll see you.